I've been watching your videos from time to time. This is my first time using them. I just made a link. Here's an article about Nagging. It's about a foreign developer who owns a company in Korea. I made a call to the people in the area and gave them half of what I got. That's why those companies are using it. There's been some debate about Indian developers in the past, but I think it's because of the way they work in communication. Of course, we'll reveal the substitute army later. Don't worry. I've killed you before. There's a Korean Chinese, and he looks like he's Korean. Out of all those people, it's impossible. If you just talk with your mouth full of SR 100,001. Foreigners have to prove that they did it to foreigners. He wasn't a beginner, but a college graduate. He was a beginner. I can't pay you much starting salary for the rest of your life. So you'll just go to that small hospital. That's ridiculous. Are you out of your mind? They're beginners, but they don't use it much. In Siri, communication is important. For developers, it's because they don't have any proper documents or forms. After writing that, the president would come and say, "Do it right." 18.8. Don't do it right, don't do it right. Don't do it right, don't do it right. Don't do it right, don't do it right, don't do it right. I don't have any credentials. But if a data processor came to a foreign country today and asked how a crazy person could get information from a foreigner, the conditions increased, and if he got information from a foreigner, he must have the ability to work abroad. What did you do in Korea? I went there. But he talked a little bit. He didn't get caught. That's what a lunatic did today. I should have said something as soon as I got out. I'm almost done. They like passports. I've talked to them a lot in the past. But there are a lot of countries in Seoul, not Korea. So what's bad about Deodio in Korea is that it's mostly written in documents. A lot of kids go to Japan. It seems like our labor costs are all the same these days. So it's coming our way. But if you go the first way to Japan, where kids learn a language in Korean, the world always flows in a reasonable way. But it's the same for private companies. In Korea, if the documents are good and the FM is going well, and they want you to have more time, they'll give you more time, press your schedule. And if you're doing well, and if you're organizing things, you should think about that. I wish I had a culture like that. We don't have that in Korea. Development in Korea is too old, too SM, too private, too much development. And I saw them the other day, taking out subcontractors. Or rather, not subcontractors, but handing over the big projects to SSG companies to manage, and this one, and hand it over to them at the government office. I used to be an interpreter for China and the SKSS. I used a drop back because they said they weren't going to do it. And it was so bad. And there were so many of them. And I couldn't delete my iPhone. First, they teach us how to write Korean for our project. Once they become famous, we'll move to China. Why did the driver ask how much it cost? Over a decade ago, a big city in China in Songgyeong ran out of saliva. So I thought it was a system where people were told to keep things on the phone. Not through the phone, but through the messenger. And send them documents. If you send a text and say you came back the wrong way, you can't do that. It's strange. In Korea, we go to bed early. And then we don't come back. In Korea, we go like this. And then we go to the mountains. So I translated for him. And he told me to do it like this. And if you translate from the middle, they won't get it. That's why I left it for the developer last time. Anyway, the developer wasn't sure if he'd understand. But the client came. What's with the color? I wouldn't ask you to kill me if I knew. I didn't ask you to do it. Because you're smart developers. And did everything. I want to do this. And I know how to do that. So you need to think about it. And do a good job. I think I said that a few years ago. But it's always me. Foreign workers come and do good and bad things. That's what it is. You're here, you're here, you're here, you're here, you're here. But you know what's bad? Think about you guys. You're right. I don't like them that much. It's because labor costs are low. That's what we always say in Korea. We always say that it's hard to save people. Because we make it hard to save people in factories. And so on. There are no Koreans. Why would they ask you to go abroad? They don't pay enough. The developer said they pay more. It doesn't matter to Dahi. Since it's the end of the line, but that's the downside. You guys don't like it either. It's not good because you'll lose weight tomorrow, but if they come, you'll lose labor. That's the grossest job. The current developer is Kurmazoa. And it took a lot of time for the developer to find that YouTuber last time. And it looked like a developer's salary. So he moved on to his 14th year as a developer and said, "How much do you earn? Do you work as a freelancer? Next month, when it's next year, it'll go up in a few months." He got 800,000. One in 700,000. One, and it's about 850,000 won. It's not like this. It's money. I wanted to spend a lot of money to copy this and that. But when 705 got married, he got married to me. He gave up his house. He gave up his house. And when he gave up his phone,